Jake Brad in full effect. Took down.
Just waiting for people to join so we can get started here, guys. Hey guys, no problem. Just trying to get something fixed on my stream where I can see my Twitch chat in game. Alright. Avery, you here too? Let's see. My user list is not showing who else in here for some reason. I can see a few people watching. You guys able to hear me okay? Alright, that's good. Guess I'll go ahead and get started, and whoever gets in will just catch up. Alright, so nice thing about WoW, of course, over many MMOs is the fact that you have add-ons that can like really change your interface and give you a lot of customization on how you play the game. So I don't know if you guys have experimented with add-ons at all. Just real quick, have any of you like installed any or played with them, or are you still running pretty much the basic WoW experience? Okay, gotcha. Well, actually, add-ons are pretty easy to find and install now. They're actually done through the Twitch desktop client, which is pretty interesting. I'm gonna kill my music here so I can hear myself think a little better. So if you don't have the Twitch desktop app, I definitely recommend picking that up. And if you do have it, what you'll see at the top is you'll have like a section for mods, and if you click on that, World of Warcraft is there. Just make sure Twitch can find your World of Warcraft path file, and you'll have access to where you can install them all there pretty quickly. So if you need any help with that, or if there's any of this you want to do like while I'm on the stream and you want to kind of go through the steps, I can go a little slower and let you install and kind of follow along, or I can just kind of show you how it's done, give you an idea for what add-ons do, and you're welcome to just ask for help later, however you want to do it. It's a bit more meant to be a kind of an interactive experience anyway, where I help you guys kind of through it, or you know, display what you want to see rather than just create like a YouTube tutorial. Let's see, I can probably pull the Twitch window up on my screen just to show you what it looks like. Alright, let's see if I can get this display up. Sorry, still a little bit of a noob with some of this stuff on the OBS. Like how to pull things from the background to the foreground. Try this real quick. Nope, that didn't work. Thought that's what I did. I'm gonna try another one. Alright, let's try this one more time, do it a different way. Ooh, that's creating a little bit of a paradox effect there. Sorry, but I'll use this real quick. So here's the Twitch window, as you can see. So if you go over to the mod section, you can see all your different mods, like all your different games that could possibly be used for. So World of Warcraft, I don't know if there's a certain way you like find the installation or not. But anyway, yeah, so I had a thing where you could scan now or locate. Here's my add-ons. So these are various ones that I've installed. I've been using add-ons for years and years, so I don't actually use every one of these anymore, but I haven't removed all of them either. Nice thing is that add-ons do get updated pretty regularly, so you'll be able to just hit this fancy update all button, and that will actually just download all the latest updates, install them right away. And just to confirm, you guys are seeing like my Twitch window and stuff right now, right? Guess I can pull it up on my phone, check. Okay, you can't see it. Okay, good deal. Alright, so if you want to get more add-ons, here's a little button right here. Click that, and you'll see that there's plenty of them. You can go by popular, so all sorts of things. Each time you check one, you can see kind of what it does. So if you want to see what like SCADA damage meter does, then it'll give you kind of a description here, basic idea of what it does. You can sometimes find like additional plugins that go with it. What I like is screenshots. You can see what it actually looks like. So this is one of the damage meters, and I'm gonna full screen this for a second. So you can see like how much damage each of your abilities did in a fight. You can check like see who was doing like effective healing, which is healing that actually heals a target, versus overhealing, which is what's displayed here. So this is people who just healed too much, wasted their mana basically, which may or may not be a concern. Here's like an example of a common damage meter just to see who was doing the most damage or who was doing what amount of damage in each fight. Things like that. So the basic function of this is just keeping up with either how much damage or how much healing you're doing in a fight. It's just kind of a nice way of seeing your own improvement beyond just like individual ability usage. So one way of getting around here is they do have categories. So if there's something specific you're looking for, you want to improve the chat window, you're looking for auction tools, you want something that'll help with your various abilities, questing, professions, like you can actually find something that really works. And then they also have class sections. So if you're playing, say, a rogue, you can go to the rogue and you can see what the most popular downloads are. So as you can see here, this Nug combo bar, which I don't use, 6 million downloads, one of the top rated ones. You know, this is a big one. So it's just a way of finding like some things that are class specific really quick and easy. So anyway, I won't spend a lot of more time on this. I just want to show it to you. This is where you'll get your add-ons, and anytime you want to find one, like let's say I tell you guys about, like we'll just go back to SCADA, you want to find that one real quick, you can always just search for it here, and you can see it comes right up. So anything specific you're looking for, you can find pretty easily. So let's switch back to a normal display. Yeah, I'll show you what I like to do. There's a lot of customization. So I'll go ahead and jump into that one first since you asked about it. So right now I have all of my add-ons disabled, just to show you guys kind of one by one what they do. So in-game you will have an add-ons thing. This is also going to appear on your character select screen in the bottom left corner. And here you can see where the various add-ons are. So for Nilbogigam, as you can see, I have nothing checked right now, so nothing is coming up. So some add-ons are very basic. They don't really add a whole lot to you know, the interface or anything like that. So just to give you an example, Bagnon. Here's what your bags look like. Pretty standard, you know, couple slots. Let's say you want something that's a little bit more complete. You can switch on something like Bagnon. You can do a quick reload of your user interface. And now when you open your bags, you have this nice Bagnon add-on. So it just opens all your bags together. You can still close and open them individually, but it's just kind of a nice, sleeker interface for inventory management. Also has where you can clean up your bags. When you're at the point where you have, 200 bag slots and you need to find just a specific item, you can actually search for it here. And if it was, an item called I need this, like here. As you can see, searching for like the haunch of meat, it makes it where the haunch is the only one that's lit up, so you can quickly spot it in a very cluttered inventory, so that can get pretty useful. So that's, some add-ons are very basic in what they do. You don't even notice them except for what it is, and there are some that are very much overhauls. So to give you an idea of what a more complex add-on looks like, I'm just going to go ahead and load up LVUI, which if you're interested in LVUI, the core of it actually has to be installed through something other than Twitch. It's one of the, I think it's the only add-on I use really that requires an outside installation. But once you get the core, you can add all the additional stuff to it from Twitch, which is kind of nice. So I'll turn on LVUI, just the basic one for now. And this one actually has kind of a nice installation guide to help you once you get in game, and you'll see it here in just a second. So here you can already see it's really modified my interface a lot, kind of messy right now. So what this will do will this step-by-step process will help you kind of get it a little more organized. I'm not very familiar with CVARs, but it's just something that kind of it's basically where the interactions between add-ons in the game happen. So I like to just hit it just to make sure it's ready, so there won't be any complications. As far as setup chat goes, this is just an option to like really quickly do kind of a quick preload. You can click it if you want, so it just like sets a very recommended usage for your chat filters, things like that. You can pick themes, so classic is going to have more of this blue scheme, things like that. You can go dark, see a little bit darker effect on some of the things, and you can go class based, which since I'm playing a mage, you're going to see more of my mage colors. Set it to dark for now. Already set on the high resolution, so this isn't really a concern. You can click it anyway. This will just make sure that your UI is like the font sizes, things like that, are appropriate for the resolution you're playing on. Here you can do some things that will give you like a recommended user interface for your bars. So in this case, I'm playing a caster DPS. And so just clicking that, it'll do a few things like just move certain bars in a way that's a little more convenient for it. Nothing too major. Won't worry about this one too much right now. I will just go ahead and click that. So I don't have a folder of things you should download. I'll give you guys some recommendations, and I don't know if you saw it, Avery, but I was just going through how the Twitch client, the desktop client, is used to download new add-ons. If you missed that, I'll go back over it with you later. But the Twitch client has where you can find all the new add-ons, and you can install them through the client, where you don't have to manually download and install them and everything like that. Alright. So this is like, just the very basic LVUI, just kind of streamlines things a little bit, makes things a little nicer. But, as you can see, things are still a little cluttered, so if you just want to keep things simple, LVUI has a lot of customization options, which I'll show you here. Bring up by typing LVUI, so like all of these different panels are things you can do, lots of customization. This can get really complicated really quickly. Hey, Ash. But a basic one is you can toggle the anchors. Now I know this looks really complex all of a sudden, you got this grid, but everything is labeled. So like left chat, let's say I want to move my chat window just a little bit higher, I can just drag it. Or if I want to just do very minute details, you can use the nudge, which will, it's a little hard sometimes to get it over the right thing. But the nudge will just very slightly move it up or down a bit, which is, if you want to make very small adjustments, a little more detailed, that could be nice. Let's say you want to move your player frames a little closer to the higher, closer to the center of the screen where you can see it a little better while watching the fight. You can do that. And when you're ready, you can hit lock. Now, I'm not here to do a full-blown tutorial of LVUI. As you guys probably noticed, it does a lot of things right out of the box, so you don't have to play with it too much to get something nice. And this next part I'll show you will help too if you want the easy install but get kind of a cool looking interface. Going back to my add-ons screen, you can download sort of presets for the LVUI interface. There's two I like to use, Belnick and Shadow and Light. These are two of the most popular ones. I'm gonna reload. And why I like using these two is they also have the quick install options that just start up automatically when you load into the game on a new character. So with the Belnick UI one, you can continue. These are basic layout options, so you can like see the chat window and stuff. You'll notice that things will change a little bit when I click it. So here's their classic Belnick and here is the version 3. I really like the version 3, just a little smaller, a little cleaner. I'm kind of a fan of it. As you can see, it's kind of giving a little more space towards the bottom of the screen, organizing the bars a little better. You get a few different color schemes. You can use a basic Elnick, you can use a Diablo, you can see a little bit of a red scheme to it. Mist, which is the one I like to use, a little more of a bluish green, kind of a nice soft color. And you can go with kind of a Hearthstone purple here too. So I like to use Mist. Again, the setup chat one is just some recommendations. If you don't know what to do, you can just kind of click it. Unit frames, so these refer to like your target frames and your player frame. So in your default, you have in the top left corner like your character, and then next to it will be what you're fighting. What these movable unit frames do is they can put that information in a more valuable place on screen. So just to show you a few basic setups you can do for it. You can do version 1, which actually has like 3D graphics of like your character and your target, which some people like, but can obscure important information a little bit. I have another option which puts the icon a little more to the side, a bit more of an avatar style. It gives you a little more like actual detail on your power, your health. So Avery, keep in mind this is partly just like demonstrating what you can do. If there's any of this you actually like how it looks, later I'll be happy to go through like very step by step and show you how to set it up to look like this. But this is kind of just show and tell right now. So don't worry too much like about the instructions and all of that. I'm just giving you guys a basic show. And if this is too much, I can still back off and I can go back to simpler add-ons. So again, I'm doing this just to help you guys out. I use the Unit Frames 3 here, so this is the main one I use. Very simple, just gives me pretty simple info on what I'm targeting. And like buffs will show up here above this side, debuffs will show up on this side, so just kind of nice and easy for that. Action bars, which are your holders for all your abilities, you can rearrange those. There's a couple different styles you can use. So here's one that brings them up a little bit, kind of brings everything together. For version 2, you can, again, bring them all in. Action bars 3. Brings your main bar up closer to the center of the screen. So again, if you like having more of your information, like your cooldowns, things like that, right under the center of the game where your eyes aren't having to wander all the way over here, all the way down here, that's all an option. And keep in mind, if you decide you like one of these, like you like, say, action bars 2, but you want this just like a little higher up, you can always move that up. So you'll have that finer customization if you want it later. Again, you can go ahead and choose some of the recommended presets for what kind of class you're playing. So if you're playing caster DPS, what this will do is it'll actually like kind of manage the stats at the bottom. So if you want to have like your haste, mastery, crit, spirit power, things like that, it'll just put more of the relevant information down at the screen. Whereas if you choose tank, now it's got like avoidance, armor, things like that. So you can just kind of set whatever details you want it to show. Since we're on a mage, we'll do caster DPS. And then once you use other add-ons, this is one that will basically do a quick configuration for some of those other add-ons if you want it. I'm going to skip that right now. So Shadow and Light was the other one. It's kind of similar. Some cool things that you have with this one. I like the AFK screen for it, which I'll show you in just a second. So if you enable AFK, this doesn't really matter because we're using LVUI. He also has some basic configurations you can use. These are much more set up, like action bars and the unit frames and everything in the same spot. I'm skipping those for now, but you can play with them if you want. Finish that. Here, Avery, send me a quick note on Discord so I don't forget. Just message me and say that you want to set up the ELVUI, ELVUI, and I'll walk you through like the step-by-step of that later. And can even do it when like you've got your stream up or something, so I can see what you're doing and walk you through the steps. Alright, so yeah, now we have kind of a cool, sleek, modern UI. One I like to use this. So this is very similar to my setup I use on my other characters. Main difference being that like on my healers, I'll also have some raid frames here for my party members and stuff. And I'll usually keep like this bar at the bottom down like closer under my character, so I have all my information kind of in a same spot. So we're going to travel over towards the training dummies, and actually let me pull my mounts out for that. Oh right, this guy is such an old character, I don't even have the low level mounts on it, so we'll use this one. And go into the training dummies so I can just show you some of these effects and combat. So recount is like a damage and healing tracking. It can also track a lot of other things, but it's like how much of what you did in a fight. So I'll actually load up. I'll load up recount itself in a second because it's very basic. Recount and SCADA are very simple, easy to use. And once I get to the training dummies, which weren't they over here somewhere? Off the cell, I think. Those will be very basic, so easy add-ons to use. Please know for what? Well, you won't know how bad you are because it doesn't tell you how bad you are, it just tells you what you're doing. You need something to compare it to know how bad you are. So let's go ahead and load up the recount real quick. Alright, so let's put on recount. So here's my recount window in the very bottom of the screen. I'll widen it a bit so you can see a little more what's going. So right now it's set to damage done. So if I attack something, and let me find one of the lower level ones where I can actually hurt it. If they've got one around here. It's outside. Well, maybe I can still hit him now. Let's see what happens. Nope, miss. Alright, let's just go outside real quick and then we can do it there. Can attack some real creatures. And let me pull out my heirlooms while we're doing that. Sorry for the delays, guys. I really thought that they had the low-level training dummies there, but I guess I was wrong. And I'm sure they're around here somewhere, but don't feel like hunting them down. But combat will let me show you not only like recount, things like that, but also let me show you some other things that can make your combats look a little more interesting. Alright, here's something to fight. So go over here, start doing some damage, and as you can see, recount is now tracking it. So what these basic numbers are here is you have the raw damage that's being done, which is for each cast, you see it going up a little bit. And then next to it you have the damage per second. So that is, again, tracking how much damage you're doing over time rather than just per hit. And if we were in a party, let's say 3 other people were doing that, let's say that had one other team person who also did 370 damage, then you'd see 50% here. So that percentage is how much of the damage done to the target was done by you. So when you're in like 30-person raids and you see that you did 15, 20% of the damage, it means you're hard carrying. So if you right-click on the frame itself, like over the words damage done, for instance, you can see all the different things you can track. So DPS, you can see I was doing about 31 damage per second. You can see if you did any damage to friendlies. You can, if you're a tank or you are on a fight where you're taking a lot of damage, you want to make sure you're not standing in fire too much. You can see how much damage you took. For healers, you can see your healing done. So there's all sorts of things you can track, even down to fights where there's like a key ability that you need to worry about that needs to be constantly interrupted. So like every 10 seconds someone has to be interrupting it. You can even see how many interrupts were done per person, and you can see, hey, this guy did 20 interrupts and everyone else only did 4. So either this guy is just on point or everyone else is really sucking at it. So recount can be very basic and can also give you a lot of diagnostic information on a fight if you need to look at what's going on. But in general, damage dealers are going to look at damage done. Healers will want to know healing done, and then tanks may want like damage taken or something like that. So you don't have to get too much into the guts of it to really appreciate what this little tiny guy can do. The gear icon here, this just shows you can like turn on, turn off what kind of things you want to track. So if you want to see pets separately or you want to see them grouped up with you, you have options like to do that. So like merge pets with owners. That means if I'm a hunter, then my pet's damage will just be added under my name. If I turn that off, you will see my pet's name separately on the DPS meters, and you'll see what he's doing on his own, and you'll see what my damage looks like without my pet damage. Merge absorbs with heals. That's just like Disc Priest. They do a lot of barrier healing. They prevent damage from going out, things along those lines. Mages can use like Mana Shield or Ice Barrier. So that'll just include anything that absorbs or kind of prevents damage as being included with the healing. So if I shield someone and that shield absorbs 1500 damage, it will count as 1500 healing on the healing done part. So basic options. Again, most of this comes pretty ready to use out the box. As soon as you install it, it's ready to go. So you don't have to play with the settings to use it, especially as you're getting familiar with it. But the depth is there if you want to add more to it. So another thing, show you guys just some other things that can make combat look a little nicer. Let's head back over here. And yeah, I'm just running around in circles while talking because that's what a lot of people do in WoW, as you'll find as you get further in the game. So let's find another one of these shredders. And real quick, I'm going to turn on the blizzard, wrong one, the blizzard damage, just so you can see what that looks like. You're probably used to it. If I can find it again, combat. I believe it's that one. Yeah, so you can see some of the damage numbers, and that was actually damage taken, but you can see how they just kind of pop up on screen. And for some reason my damage outgoing isn't on, but I'm not going to worry about that because you guys probably see it already in your own games, because I think that's on by default. So we'll turn that back off for now. I want to show you what a scrolling combat text mod looks like, because I really like how they compile the information of damage done, damage taken, healing, all of that stuff, in like a much easier to read way. So I'm going to turn on mixed scrolling battle text, which is another one of these fun add-ons that can make your gaming life a little nicer. And it's probably going to be set to its default options. Let's make sure it's working here. So let's do some damage, see what it does. So here you see my frost damage is kind of coming up on the side, nice and organized. And you see that whatever is coming in, like the damage he's dealing to me, is coming here. So it's just an easy way of tracking that. And then at the top of the screen, you'll see like effects. So when I got knocked down a second ago, you saw knockdown appear, and then you saw a negative sign showing it was done. You can see like mana gains, in and out of combat. So this is just a way of kind of putting, again, all the numbers that are happening in the fight itself into a much cleaner interface. And it didn't actually go to the default. It is using my settings, which the default is a little more curved, so they are moving in arches on the side of the screen, and you'll see like more Comic Sans kind of fonts and things like that. So it's just, again, different ways of customizing it. I'll show you what the options look like in a second here. So by typing MSBT, short for Mixed Scrolling Battle Text, I can pull up the options real quick. So here you can actually enable the Blizzard damage and healing as well if you want to see both. So just show you what that looks like. Now you see the numbers pop up on the target, which is what you're probably used to, as well as the numbers appearing on the side. So this is also good for comparison. Here you see the number for the damage you deal is gone very quickly, whereas on this side you actually see you have a few seconds to take in how much you did. And when you're doing a lot of different attacks at once, especially if you're playing a fast attacking character like a rogue or something, it's kind of nice to just have these numbers and be able to like really appreciate how much damage you're putting out, or healing in that case. Another way you can get to them is under the interface. There's an add-ons tab. So for add-ons that have their options set here, you can get to them that way. Sometimes they'll have the options here. Sometimes it'll just have the command where you can load it really quick. So here you can configure your scroll areas. This is just you want to move them to the side, like, oh, those numbers are too close, I want to move them further to the right, further to the left. You can do it manually by clicking and dragging, or you can set the values here just by, if you want to do something very even, I want this to be negative 200 and I want the other side to be positive 200, something like that. You can also see the different animation styles. I'll just preview those. So like parabola, you'll see on this side, that's this one going up in that arch. You can decide that you want it to go down instead of up. So here you go. You can do like an angled one. So that kind of goes out like that. And I believe it's different ones. So that's not like the same command. That's like 4 different things that are going out. So it's just if you want to have a little more chaos there, but still kind of organized, you have that option. You can go with the straight static, which is just it adds it. So you can see them just piling up. And those big ones popping out, those are crits. So whenever you get a critical heal or critical damage, you'll see like it really sticky, so it stands out. And you can even make it where rather than just staying there, you can give it a little bit of a jiggle as well, just to make it look a little more animated. You can change like the size of the fonts and things like that, as well as the animations. So if you want, you can make them really fast, which helps if it's not static. So as you can see, you can make them go really quick, or you can slow them way down and just have that to a crawl. And even if you do it really slow, know that it will push up as other things come in, as you can see. So you will still have things like stacking up, and eventually if you do it enough, your screens will not only be spammed, but you'll have some things getting pushed off. So just showing you the different behaviors, but like I was saying before, this is something that will have some basic default settings that are very usable, and just if you want to change the looks, you'll have that option. But I like to keep it nice and clean. Alright, so that is the scrolling battle text. Let's see what other add-ons we can show here. So there are some economy add-ons like Auctionator, Trade Skill Master. Auctionator is very basic. If you want something that will just help you a little bit with the auction house without overwhelming you, I definitely recommend that one. For later on, if you want to become like a really masterful person with the economy, like really looking for all the tools you need to make big earnings, Trade Skill Master is a much more extensive tool set that will help you with that. Will interface with your various professions, and also will help you like locate items that are undervalued, overvalued, that you can maybe flip, things like that. Let's see. So I'm not sure if heads actually works for mages. Let me check that real quick. We'll see. I wanted to start on an alt, so I could show you guys kind of just one by one some of these add-ons. But in a minute, I'm actually going to hop on one of my main characters, so I can let you see what a lot of these working together kind of looks like. Yeah, so this works. So this button on the screen, there's a way to move it. It's kind of an annoying spot right now. Let's see, move everything. Let's make that a little smaller too. Alright, so what Heads is an example of an add-on that allows you to keep track of what damage abilities you should be using at any given time. So right now, I'm on a mage, all I really have is Frostbolt, so it's just going to tell me to keep using Frostbolt. Whereas if I was a higher level mage and I had more abilities, it would show like use Frostbolt, then use Ice Lance, it would actually show you like the icon of what you should be hitting each time. So those are a good way for, especially beginners, if you don't really know your rotations, you don't really know what optimal damage looks like. That can be like a great tool for just showing you kind of priority abilities, what'll get you the best results. And for those of you that feel like you're really bad, just knowing what button to hit next, could actually pull up your numbers quite a bit and turn you into a pretty competent DPS pretty quickly. So I don't actually use Heads very much. That's the wrong one. Again, I have a bit too many add-ons here. So I tend to use more Heckly, which I don't know if it has a mage one. We'll see. Yeah, it doesn't have anything for mages. For the rest, I'm just going to log out, switch to my Shaman, so I can show you guys kind of what a full suite looks like. And yeah, it's up to you. Some people like to use the different add-ons because it just takes a little bit of the thought, so you can actually like focus your attention more on keeping track of. As you find out, the fights will get more complicated, more complex, give you more things you need to actually look out for. So as that happens, you might want something that kind of automates how you handle certain situations a little better. Everything okay, Achi? Yeah, well, it's up to you guys individually. Alright, so I've got quite a few more add-ons here, and also here's what like a level 110 interface looks like, so you can see I have a lot more abilities to track. This here is my the Heckly rotation tracker, so I can show you what that does real quick. I'm just going to get out of this area where there's some mobs to fight. I didn't really play much in Legion, so I'm doing a lot of the catch-up stuff, unlocking the world quests, so I can farm reputations later if I need to. Let's just fight this thing. So as you can see here, it's telling me like what order of abilities to use, and in the top right corner, even what my hotkey is, which can be kind of nice. So just to see it in action. And I'm always hitting the leftmost button. And that's kind of how that works. So it just tracks through, even uses like longer abilities. You can set it up to where it'll include your cooldowns against like raid bosses. Like here's, your Berserk just went off cooldown, use it. Or it'll tell you like an optimal point. You can also use other things. Right now it's not very well set up, but I have Tell Me When, which is an add-on here that just I can keep up with different cooldowns with that. So I just use that to say like here's my Ghost Wolves, have it right where I can see it easily to know when they're available, and I can trigger that long cooldown. But anyway, so what I was going to show you here, just to give you an idea too, that with like this one character, here's all my add-ons installed for her. Let me kill this big thing real quick. Ooh, that is, yep, I'm dead. Raid boss. Alright, you guys didn't see anything there. That never happened. See, I think it was this way. It's kind of a new zone to me, so I'm not really too familiar. Oh, wait, no, there it is. Okay. Yeah, no kidding, Patrick. Same thing there. Alright, trying to remember. What was I about to show you guys? What add-ons? So decursive, that's actually a pretty nice one here. You can barely see it really, but decursive is this little thing right here. I keep it very transparent. What this is for classes like the healers especially that have where they can remove debuffs from targets, from team members especially. It's just a very easy interface for doing that. So let's say I get hit with a magic ability that is debuffing me that I can purge. All I have to do is just left click it, and as you can see it's giving me the error message right now, but it'll make a sound, this box will light up, and that's just an indicator that, oh, there's like, you know, damage over time on me. And so I can just click that box real quick and it's gone. So again, very nice little add-on for managing that stuff. A lot of people don't even think about keeping up with dispels or anything like that, so it can just be very helpful, especially for the healers and the hybrid classes that have things like remove curse, dispel magic, purge to help with that. Scrolling down a bit. Elephant is actually something that just remembers chat logs. I don't even actually use it that much anymore. GTFO is just something that gives you a little alarm if you're standing in fire. So for some things that can be kind of useful. Just a little extra audio cue to tell you to move. Mapster, kind of a map mod. Just makes things a little more movable. Can customize the map a bit more. And I don't even know how much this is different from the Blizzard one anymore, but I don't know. I've always used Mapster because it was a little more convenient. A little more customizable. Doesn't really like full screen map or anything like that. Let's see. I guess I'll go back to Auction House, show you what some of those do. Deadly boss mods, as you can see, this is actually a lot of add-ons, but it's not as complicated as you want. The installation's pretty easy. This is one of the best group and raid content add-ons you can get, in that it brings a lot of the information regarding the mechanics of the fight right onto your screen. So if a boss has, for instance, a 10-meter AoE stun that goes out from the center, and you're playing a melee class, it's going to flash, you know, stun coming in 5 seconds, move across the like center of the screen, and it'll play like you know, get away little girl sound or something like that, you know, some weird voice icon to tell you. It's just a way of giving you like more information about the fight with auditory and visual cues to just help you respond. It'll have timers for fights, so if you know, like every 2 minutes the boss enrages and just goes crazy on the tanks and you're playing a healer, then you know that like right as that 2-minute timer is coming to an end and that damage is coming up, you can like pop a healer cooldown, put some extra stuff out, make sure your mana's good, things like that, so that you're ready for it. Just a good way of tracking the different things. So DBM is definitely one that I would highly recommend, especially as you get to higher level group content and eventually raid content, where mechanics are a little harder to track because there's more of them and also more punishing, and you know, you have to play them better to beat the combat, beat the fight. So let's head back. I'll show you some auction stuff real quick, and also you can see how many inventory slots you eventually get once you get bigger and bigger bags. So that's why having something that can find things quickly is and keep things organized is really helpful with inventory management. Alright, so I have a couple different add-ons that affect the Action House, so you'll see that things look very different here. So this is the LVUI interface for the basic one, so it looks different. That's just, as you can see, kind of the general UI overhaul at work there. Here's your basic tabs: browse, bids, auctions. Auctionator is going to add these additional 3 tabs: buy, sell, and more. So buy is something like if there's things that you buy often, you can create shopping lists for it or do a quick search. So I've done a lot of inscription before, so like Peace Bloom is one. So rather than having to type it, I could just like really quickly click on whatever I need, and it'll pull up rather than a kind of the random listings you get on the regular auction house. You'll see things very organized. Like, so here's 4 stacks of 5. Here's their individual item price, which is what it's sorting by, and here's the stack price. You can also see things as you use it more. You can see history. I haven't been doing much as far as keeping up with prices and stuff. So as you use this add-on more, it'll be like, okay, yesterday, this is Auctionator, I'm sorry. As you use this more, it's going to remember a lot of data. So if I've been tracking Peace Bloom prices for the past 10 days, for instance, it's going to show me historical data on like average prices. So it may show that, 5 days ago, these were worth only 50 silver each, and today they're a gold 50. So the price has gone up. Or it may tell me the opposite. Maybe it was 5 gold 10 days ago, and now it's $1.50 or a gold 50. So it's price is going down. Oh, you've never even seen the auction house. Okay, yeah, this is where you buy all sorts of stuff. You can buy your gear, your crafting regents, things like that. Yeah, so like here's the default one. So let's say you're looking for, you use heirloom gear so much now that this probably isn't as important, but if you wanted to find like some one-handed swords, but for like a level 30, here's all the swords that are for sale for level 30, 40 characters, which again, if you've got heirlooms, you probably don't need these, but here they are. If you start doing professions, especially if you want to make some gold early on, grab some gathering professions, and while you're out questing, you can, if you're herbalist, grab plants. If you're a miner, grab mining nodes. You can come here and you can sell things, and Auctionator helps with that, and that, so here's some of my posted auctions. If I wanted to sell, let's say, some flasks here, I'd post it, and then what am I going to do with it? Well, without add-ons, I have to figure out like how much is it worth, and so I might have to go, well, it's a Greater Draenic Agility Flask, so just need to make sure everything's there. Then let's have that Greater. Okay, so I can see, oh, well, there's only one guy selling one of them, and it's going for 37.70, so I'd have to come back here, and I'd have to say that price per unit is, we'll say 35, and then I'd have to create the auction that way. So this is the manual way of doing it. Here's where the add-ons are nice. If I use the Auctionator tab for it, I want to sell this flask. Clear that. Drag the item you want to sell here. It's going to automatically search. Let's say there were 20 people selling them. It would list all of them. It would show you the prices with the lowest at the top. It would show you how much you're going to make. So 37, like it would recommend you undercut by 10 silver, just so yours is the cheapest and you get the most money you can. So that's the fastest way to sell it. Trust me, actually, you'll want to, and it'll be easy once you play around with it. This will become a lot more simple later on. So keep in mind, I'm showing things off now. This is not meant to be like, I show you once and you do this forever. This is, it's there, and so I will come back and help you with it later. I'm sorry. I can slow down if you guys need me to let you guys have a break, but I just want to show you this where I just had to drag the item I want to sell. It automatically loads up how to sell it at the lowest price, and then I can just create it. So if I wanted to sell something else, drag it, same thing. Automatically adjust all the prices, so it's literally drag and drop to sell stuff that you want to get rid of and make some money on. If I want to sell cloth, what you get from fighting various things, like you're getting linen and wool cloth right now probably, bring it here, and this one's nice because you'll see lots of pages for it. Here's all the people selling it, and then, again, I've got 4 of them. I could just click right here, and it'll sell it. Yeah, that's fair. So, again, this isn't something you have to jump into right away, but at least you'll know, like, once you start doing a gathering profession, if you want to sell something on the auction house, you want to start buying something, you'll have seen these, and that doesn't mean you have to remember all of this. You can message me or anyone who's been playing the game for a while and say, help me with the auction house, and you'll at least know it's there. You'll know that you can come and look for help on that. So if you pick up mining and you mine 500 bronze ore tomorrow, you want to sell it and you want the easy thing, you can say, hey Val, show me how to sell this, and I'll get on and we'll just do Auctionator, and I'll just show you the really easy way to sell that stuff and make sure you're getting, good money's worth. But what I was trying to show earlier is just that if you wanted to do it, this is the old way, where if you want to sell something, you had to manually look it up in the windows by typing in the name or its filters. You had to sort through everyone's prices, see what they're selling it for, and then come back and manually enter the price yourself. Whereas here, all you have to do on Auctionator is just drag it into the window, and there it is. Yeah, so you could lose a lot of money. So Bam, if you look, this is also add-on information that's showing me like a lot of data on the prices. So I have a much more extended tool set here on pricing info. But like right next to the icon, you can see like the current lowest price, suggested sell price, historical high. Some of this data is not very deep right now because I've only just started playing again. Just a little higher than that, up near like the gear icon, you can see vendor. These sell for 25 silver each to a vendor. But on the auction house, they sell for almost 38 gold each. So do you want to sell it for 25 silver, or do you want to sell it for 38 gold? And it's the same with like your, especially with your profession stuff. If you want to gather, copper ore, you want to sell that. A vendor's going to pay you, copper and silver for every copper ore, whereas another player is going to give you like gold for it. So selling 200 copper ore, a whole stack, you can make like possibly 1,000 gold on that, selling it to other players on the auction house, or you can sell it to a vendor and get like 5 gold. So the auction house is definitely critical to the economy. But yeah, if you guys want to play around the auction house later, we can do that. Like I said, I will walk you through it step by step. I'll take all the time you need. This is, again, just showing it off, kind of how these things work. It's not where you have to pick up how to do all of this right now. Let's see. So I think that's most of the important add-ons. Let me just check my list one more time. Yeah, I think that's the important ones right now. The last one I wanted to show you is a little different. I like to use it. It's a premium add-on. So it does have a monthly subscription cost that you have to pay extra, but it's really useful. It's, I think, pretty friendly overall. That's this Zygor thing. With Zygor, it's basically a bunch of guides to the game kind of built in all at once. So if you want, you can pull up the main screen. If you're leveling, and I think they give you like the first 10 levels or 20 levels for free if you want to try it. Let's see, starter guides. And what these will do is they will walk you through like step by step how to do something. So I'm not quite level 1 anymore. I'd want to load something relevant. Let me see. Let me get on an alt. I'll show you how this looks on an alt. That way it'll be a little easier for you to appreciate what it can do. We'll hop back on the Boggy Gom real quick. I'm just going to disable all the add-ons except Zygor on him. Alright, so here it is. Automatically loaded Ghostland. Don't know why, but let's say that's not where I want to level right now. But I know that I'm level, for leveling, I'm level, 10 to 60. He's a level 19 mage right now. So I click on Classic. You can pick which continent. Kalimdor is the Western continent. Eastern Kingdom is obviously the Eastern one. So let's say I did want to level in Ghostlands. I could just click over here on this arrow. It'll load it. And what this is going to do is it's going to actually tell me how to get there. So in this case, I'm a mage. I have teleport. So it's going to even give me my button right on the middle of my screen where I can teleport to Orgrimmar. Now it's giving me an arrow showing me where to go. Also, it's on the mini map, so it's showing like here's the tunnel path. So I know go right up this ramp. Get my heirloom mount back out. Yeah, this one's Zygor. So this one you do have to. It's like it's a premium add-on. So you have to pay Zygor a monthly fee. Again, the first few levels are free, and you can like get the basic interface for free. But if you want like all the higher level guides beyond like level 10 or 20, you do have to pay for it. Now, the one thing that I can say is if you're playing with me, because I'm subscribed, I can actually share with you. So if you install the free version and we're leveling together, I can set like that zone's leveling guide, and you'll actually see the steps. So this is one I want to show you because it's very. I think it's good for beginners, especially because it really helps you like with what to do, where to go, things like that. And I'm just waiting on the elevator here. Pro tip: you can pass through elevators if you're waiting on them. Go up here. So here's that circular portal to the Undercity. I can click on that. And so keep in mind the arrow itself is not always the most useful thing, but you do have the mini map up here in the top right, showing you kind of more specific instructions on how to get around. Yep. The motorcycle does have some pretty fun animations there. I don't even know which one. Let's see. That one was a little off, just that little arrow, but not too bad. And also it does give you data on the world map too, so you can look and see, oh, I need to get to the gates there, so if I want I can just kind of follow the map that way to get there. And on top of leveling guides, it also has things where like you can upload your dailies. World of Warcraft has all sorts of world events for holidays, so if the, let's see, Hollow's End? No, Brewfest is probably the next one. So you could click on Brewfest, it'll show you how to do all the quests for that. So if you're really into those like holiday events, you can do that. Reputation farming, it has a lot of tools for gold as well. Professions, you want to level alchemy, it can give you the directions on how to do that. Also has where you can hunt down various pets and mounts. So if you want to find pets, let's say I want to find magic pets, you can see it also gives you on the right side a display of what the pet looks like. And if you decide that you want to try and find that pet, you just click on Load Guide, and it'll walk you through, give you all the steps, arrows you need. And you can have multiple tabs open at once. So you can say that I'm looking for what's a good one? Let's go for that guy. So it tells you kind of idea here. This pet has a small chance to drop from the Dreamweaver Provisions Emissary Quest reward. Emissary quests are available once a day and vary between 6 different factions. This Emissary cache is rewarded for completing 4 Dreamweaver world quests with the Dream. So click here to continue. And now you can see it's actually like go through the steps. Now this character I think is too low to actually do anything about it, so I won't be able to follow the guide on that one. But for a higher level character that has access to this stuff, I would have this option. Alright, so now that I'm actually in the right zone area, you can see that it's now telling me like talk to this person, accept this quest, here's where like how far they are. So that can help. I don't know that I have the flight masters for this area.
State your business. Death to all who oppose us.
Yeah, I don't think I can get a
Victory lies ahead.
Alright, Ken. So I don't know why I didn't do there. Maybe because this is new character and it didn't have its flight path data yet. I haven't used this add-on in this character yet. But normally it will tell you, like, you go to this flight master, here's the person you need to go to. You know, so you know exactly where you need to fly to get to your next quest area.
Glory to the Sindorai.
Not going to go too much longer on this, just want to show these next steps real quick. Other things it's useful for if you want to hunt down certain titles or you want to be an achievement hunter, you can help with that. Also, just if you hit like your milestones where you can get mounts, the mount training guide will just show you where you need to go to get it. So here it's like you must reach level 20. So if you've reached level 20, which I haven't yet, you can click here to proceed just to see the next step. If you do hit level 20, it'll automatically clear that step and go to the next one. Or in this case, it won't let me. Let's try it that way. Yep. But the basic idea is it would show you like where you need to go to actually get the training for that. It'll show you like where the flight master is that can train you, and you know how much it costs, things like that.
And you are.
So here, as we can see, this is Apothecary Thedra, except the Fallen Courier. Automatically updates. Says that in order to get these blood samples, go over here across this bridge, where I will want to get 4 plagued blood samples. And it'll keep updating. And another nice thing too, if like I've already done half the quest in Ghostlands, this guide will automatically scan my quest history and go exactly to where I am and give me quests that I need to do. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to show you guys that because I think it could be really helpful, something to keep in mind. I will say that this is an add-on I really like to use. I've been using it a long time. If any of you do want to use it, I have a referral code. It just gives me a small discount for every person that decides to use it, so I'd appreciate it if you use it, but certainly don't have to. I just recommend it because I think it would actually help. So that's it for kind of the showcase part of just showing different add-ons. There's certainly many, many more. If there's pretty much anything you want to do in this game, there's an add-on for it. But are there any questions? Anything you guys would like me to show you? Anything you'd like to know more about? And Avery, I will say that levels like 1 through 20 do go a lot faster. Your leveling will slow down a little bit. So if you do have the heirloom gear, it's not unusual, even at like a really good rate, to it's not unusual for it to take like an hour or two per level, even with like all the heirloom stuff, like really leveling fast. And you know, it can take 2 hours plus per level, pretty normally. And that's until you get to like level 100, level 110, the more current content, and then it can take sometimes 3+ hours to level up. Yeah, that's fine, Archie. So, you know, you can ask me anytime. This was, again, kind of an intro thing. I know it's a little bit of an overload, but now you can at least see how much this stuff can do. So, in the future, like, as you're playing, I want to track my damage more, etc., etc. Like, you know, just whatever you want to do, you can ask me or any other veteran player, and we'll help you with it. Oh, that was helpful. Alright, so Avery, you wanted to set up ELVU. Let me go ahead and I'll send you the link on Discord to where you can get the client first off, because that's the only one where the base is not actually available on Twitch itself. Yeah, no problem, Machi. And if I think of anything else, I'll help you guys. Or again, there's anything else you want to learn about, or just see, like you want to see what does a level like high level dungeon look like, you know. Or even just like, how do I do something on a class? I think I've got alts on every class, so I can show you a little bit about playing a class. Did anyone want help with the LVUI thing besides Avery? If I'm going to help him with it, I might as well help more than one person. But and LVUI was the one that makes your user interface look all modern and stuff. So here's LVUI. You can see all the difference. Okay, actually, that's fine. I'll go ahead and send the link for where you can download it, and from there, if you need help setting it up, like, Avery, you wanted yours to look pretty much like mine does on screen, right? Okay, great. So I'll send you links. I'll go ahead and keep the stream running, and I'll walk you through kind of downloading and getting the base installed and the few add-ons I used. I mean, I could do it over the stream, or... no problem, Patrick. Hope it helped. So anyone who wants to stick around for it, I'll post links in my Twitch chat as well. That way you can like get the stuff you need. If you're not interested in setting up LVUI, the user interface, kind of the way I have it at the moment, then you're good to go, I guess. Oh, let me just say this one last thing. Key bindings. So you'll probably notice you're going to get a lot more buttons, like as you saw on my high-level character. The best way to deal with that is set up like I have A1, A2, A3. You see those, S1, S2. Those are like Alt 1, Shift 1 as well. You can use your mouse keys. I also recommend using like Shift E, R, T, buttons like that. So if you ever want to set those up, just go to the key bindings thing here, and you can see the different panels. Action bar is where you'll find all of that. And so here's like your basic ones, 1 through 0 with, you know, that one. Yeah. So the nice thing about leveling is you get your abilities slowly, so you don't have to worry too much about it all at once. But as you get more in, you may want to just set up like, you know, here's where the shift ones are. Then I have my mouse buttons. Here's the alt, as well as like the Shift E, Shift R, Shift T. Nice thing is that once you set your key bindings, you can see like what it is. Like this is Shift 5. So right now I have like my mouse set to Shift 1. So hit Shift 1, there's my mount. So just kind of keep that in mind. Again, level 20, level 30, you're probably not going to be too overwhelmed yet, but as you get more abilities, more items, mounts, things like that, I recommend just setting things up to where your shift keys, alt keys, things like that work. And don't just use the numbers, use like ERT with the shift and stuff like that. Okay, so that was the last kind of beginner pointer I'd recommend. May not have to use it right away, but something useful for later. Alright, so let me post the LVUI links for those who are interested. You're welcome, Archie. Alright, so there's the link for the LVUI core, and I'll just walk you through the manual install. They have a client, kind of like the Twitch thing, where you can automatically install things there, but I think this one will be easy enough to just kind of walk you through it. So you'll want to download that, and I'm going to go ahead and download it again too, just a second. Make sure I walk you through step by step. Alright, and once you download it, I guess Avery, tell me when you got it downloaded. I'll tell you the next step. Oh, and go ahead and extract it so you see you have the folders themselves. Okay, so go ahead and cut those, like cut paste ready. Have it where they're ready to paste into a new folder. And you want to go to your World of Warcraft installation folder. So like, you know, C World of Warcraft or Program, Files, World of Warcraft, wherever you keep it. Just let me know when you got the basic World of Warcraft file open. And fun tip, World of Warcraft is actually really nice in that it doesn't have like a major installation process where you can literally like copy and paste the entire game folder like to another hard drive or something, and you don't have to reinstall it or anything. Okay, do you see the interface folder and the main World of Warcraft folder? You want to go to interface if you have it. If not, we'll create it. Okay, click on the interface. There should be an add-ons folder. Let me know if you have that one. Okay, just click on add-ons and just drop the paste right there inside the add-ons folder. Okay. Now what you want to do you have the Twitch desktop client downloaded and installed? Like, do you have that set up? Okay, so the Twitch, yeah, I guess you missed that first part. So go to, here, I'll post a link real quick. You'll want to go ahead and download and install that, log in on there, because the Twitch desktop app is actually a, has a section in the app for managing add-ons for games like World of Warcraft, and it just makes it really easy to find the add-ons, and it like instantly installs them where you don't have to like download, extract, and copy and paste them into your add-ons folder like that. So I'll go ahead and give you a minute to get that installed, and then I'll help you from there. Okay. Once you get in, just log into your regular Twitch account with it, and let me know when you're ready. Alright. So from the main screen, you'll see like Twitch, the logo in the top left. You'll see following, browse, my games, mods. Click on mods. World of Warcraft will be one of the few games that comes up. Go ahead and click on that, and I believe you can do a scan, or I think it might give you an option to like manually set your installation path. So just set that up and let me know when you're ready. Okay, great. So under the Twitch icon, you'll see like World of Warcraft, and you'll see My Add-ons and Get More Add-ons. You see those tabs, right? And then like refresh, update all that stuff, right? Alright, so click on Get More Add-ons. And then on the very right side of the screen, about just like 20% of the way down from the top of the screen, you'll see the search bar, like all categories, and then next to it search. Just type in ELVUI there. And when the search results come up, the two you want to download are Shadow and Light and Binnock UI v3. And you can just click install, and it should install those real quick. It should be the top two if you're sorting by either top or by downloads. But it's LVUI Shadow and Light and LVUI Binnock UI. It will, yes. It'll automatically install it, so you won't have to do anything after you click install. Okay. Now what you'll want to do is, if you have WoW open, you do need to exit the WoW client completely and then start it back up. So when you install new add-ons, you won't actually see them until you restart the WoW client. Okay, so start it back up. And I'm going to go back to my character screen here, so I can kind of show you, like, I'll walk you through the steps, like step by step, how I set it up. Because what you see should be pretty similar to what I see. And I'll hop on a fresh character for it too. Alright, let me know when you're back to character select. And what you'll do is on the bottom left, you'll click on the add-ons button. And you won't see nearly as many of these. You'll just probably see the LVUI ones only. And you'll just want to make sure that they're all checked. So I'm going to disable everything and just make sure that the LVUI ones are checked. And then when you log in, you should see this screen. Let me know if this is what you're seeing when you get there. Okay. So with this one, you'll want to make sure it's LVUI first, which I guess is what you're seeing, and not the Binnick or the Shadow and Light one. But yeah, this one should come up first, and you'll hit continue. Go ahead and click Setup CVARs. Hit continue. I go ahead and hit Setup Chat. I don't see any reason why not. Continue. This is the basic theme. We're going to change this in a minute anyway, so just hit continue. Should already be on high resolution. You can click it just to make sure. On this one, again, we'll change it again in a minute, so don't worry about it. This one is for... Yeah, I don't even remember what this one does. Just ignore this one. Hit continue. Go ahead and hit finished. Alright, and did it bring up the Binnick UI 1 second? Are you on that one next? Okay, this one's going to have the more important settings. Continue. I like to use the V3, so click V3. Then once that one's set, go through. You can pick just which background color scheme you want. So you've got the kind of LVUI, very like basic. Diablo is red, Mist is green, Hearthstone is kind of a purplish blue. So you can pick which one you want. I like Mists. Set up chat, you can do that. It'll just, again, kind of clean up a little more, make it a little smaller. I like it, but you see the difference. So if you want to keep things a little bigger, go stick with the previous one. The unit frames I use is unit frames V3. So it's that one. And you can see like when I target stuff where the targeted unit frame is. Next one, I think it was version 3 we were using. Let's see. Yep, so there's action bars V3. And again, you can look at the others if you want. There's version 1, version 2, and version 3. Here, just to set your stats, whatever class you're playing. So if you're melee DPS or like a hunter, anything that uses physical damage, you'll want to use that one. Casters, so just select basically what role, and this is just going to affect which stats you're showing at the very bottom of the screen. Just continue through the add-ons one. We don't have the other add-ons installed yet. And hit finished when you're ready. And so that should bring up Shadow and Light next. Alright, seeing Shadow and Light? Alright, you got it the way you wanted? Okay. The only other one, I forgot to share this earlier. With Shadow and Light, you may like Armory mode, which just gives you like more detailed, if you inspect someone's gear, you can turn it on. You probably never noticed. The really cool one is the AFK mode, and I'll enable that. And that's the only one you really need to worry about. You can skip through the rest. But the reason you might like the AFK one is if you walk away from your computer for a little bit, or you type the /AFK command. Let me show you what it does. So normally, all that would happen is your character would just like sit down, and you would just see him standing here. With Shadow and Light, you get this cool display. So just a way of like showing your character, getting a little more dynamic screen stuff when you're going away from your keyboard. And it'll have like, again, the random stats. So how long before it automatically logs you out, time to level. Sometimes it'll show you like how much gold you've earned over your lifetime. Top right, you see like date, time, server, character name, stuff like that. And of course your faction and your race symbol as well. As far as the other add-ons, just to go through them real quick, you can find all of these with a really quick search through Twitch. I'd recommend Auctionator. That's just going to make auctions really easy. It's a very simple add-on. Just even if you're not ready to deal with the action house yet, just go ahead and get it. Go ahead and grab Bagnon. That'll make your bag inventory a little easier. So that's this one here, Bagnon, and it comes with the config and stuff already. You can grab, if you want like to have that really clean like damage and healing display on your screen, you can get mix scrolling battle text, MIK''S mic. Recount is the name of the damage one, RECOUNT. So if you want to track like damage, healing, and stuff for you and the group, that's the one you want to grab. And then I would go ahead and get Deadly Boss Mods, which is just kind of an essential add-on for group content. So type those out real quick. So I'd consider that kind of a good starter suite of add-ons. And if there's anything else you think of that, you know, just might be nice to have that you might want to do later, just let me know and I will help you figure it out. Alright, any last questions from anyone before I go ahead and end the stream for now? Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. And again, if you need anything from me at all, just go ahead and leave a message. You can message me on Discord, something like that, and I'll help you whenever I can. Alright, have a good one, guys.